Let's embark together on a delicious journey full of discoveries about a food that delights many: cheese. Have you ever wondered if people with diabetes can savor this delicacy? And what's more intriguing, does cheese raise or lower blood glucose? Stay with me, because in this story, I will reveal 3 common traps that many face when consuming cheese and how they can influence diabetes control. Imagine yourself at a table filled with various cheeses, where each piece tells a story. Think of the irresistible combination of melted cheese on warm bread or the perfect harmony between aged cheese and fresh fruit. Ah, cheese! A true delight that is part of the culture in many countries, from our beloved Mayonnaise cheese to the tasty cheddar or Gouda. For many, it is a symbol of joy and celebration, almost like an inseparable friend in everyday life. But if you have diabetes, this love may be tinged with some concerns. After all, is it possible to eat cheese without guilt? And how does it behave in the dance of glucose? The good news is that for most people living with diabetes, cheese is not the villain that many think it is. In fact, it can become a true ally. The reason? Most cheeses have very few carbohydrates. And, as you've probably heard, carbohydrates are the main culprits in raising blood glucose levels. Therefore, if a food is low in carbohydrates, it has less chance of causing those unwanted glucose spikes. Cheese, with its richness in protein and fats, would need to be consumed in large quantities to truly affect your glucose levels. But, as in any good story, there are twists, and this is where the warning comes in. Although cheese itself does not cause an immediate rise in glucose levels, there are details that deserve attention. Even though it is a low glycemic impact food, it's easy to fall into certain traps that can affect your long-term health. So let's uncover these traps and find out how you can enjoy cheese safely and with pleasure. Imagine the scene. You arrive home after a tiring day at work, hardly able to wait to relax with a snack. As you open the fridge, your eyes light up at the sight of that cheese you love. But before you give in to temptation, how about pausing and reflecting a little? How many times have you found yourself consuming cheese without thinking about the quantity? The truth is, with a platter full of delicious cheeses in front of you, it's easy to lose control. And while a piece won't immediately affect your glucose, excess can bring unwanted consequences. Weight gain is a silent villain that, in turn, can complicate diabetes control. And we cannot forget, many cheeses are loaded with sodium and saturated fats, ingredients that, in excess, can harm heart health, a factor that every diabetic should monitor closely. Now, pause and think a little more. How do you usually pair cheese? It's common to see cheeses accompanied by crunchy breads, sweet jams, or stuffed cookies. These delights, while tasty, are high in carbohydrates and can trigger glucose spikes. Next time you indulge in cheese, why not reflect on the accompaniments you choose? And we cannot forget the processed cheeses we find ready on the supermarket shelves. They may seem convenient, but often they are full of additives and preservatives that increase sodium content and other harmful ingredients. For those with diabetes, this is a trap to avoid. Whenever possible, opt for more natural and fresh cheeses, a choice that can make all the difference. So, how about we enjoy cheese more mindfully? Today, I'll share valuable tips for savoring this delicious food without compromising your health. Shall we embark on this journey of smarter choices together? After all, taking care of our health is always the best path. Once upon a time, in a sunlit kitchen, there was a daily dilemma. Which cheese to choose for an afternoon snack? The answer seemed simple at first, but a deeper exploration would reveal a world of nuances. Let's start with the essence of cheese. Have you ever stopped to think about those yellow cheeses that melt softly in your mouth? Oh, how delicious they are! However, beneath that delightful appearance lies a secret. Often, these cheeses are packed with fat, which can be a real challenge for health, especially if you're dealing with diabetes or high cholesterol. So, what's the key to unlocking the doors to healthier eating? The trick is to choose fresher, lighter cheeses, such as cottage cheese, panela cheese, buffalo mozzarella, feta, goat cheese, and the famous Burgos cheese. These friends on your plate not only offer a delicate flavor but also bring fewer carbohydrates and a well-controlled amount of fat. But here's an important warning. Even these healthy cheeses should be enjoyed in moderation. Imagine yourself at a party, surrounded by irresistible snacks. Sometimes we let ourselves be carried away by the idea that, because they are healthy, we can eat as much as we want. But, as in any big event, balance is key. Cheese can indeed be a special guest in your diet, but it cannot be the host. Now, let's unravel a common myth. Many believe that cheese is an exceptional source of protein. But the truth is a bit more complex. Some cheeses can have more fat than protein. Think of them as a football team. If the defense, the fat, is stronger than the offense, the protein, the match may not end well for your body. Therefore, if you rely solely on cheese for your protein, you might end up consuming more fat than you'd like. The solution is simple and delicious. If you enjoy meat, fish, chicken or eggs, these are perfect allies to balance your diet. And for those who choose a vegetarian or vegan diet, don't worry. Beans, lentils, chickpeas, and other legumes are like vegetable superheroes, full of protein. The secret is to diversify. The more variety you put on your plate, the more assured you'll be that your body receives all the necessary amino acids to function perfectly. In summary, regarding the cheese fable, choose lighter cheeses, always remember that they bring both protein and fat, and, above all, consume in moderation. And if your mission is to increase your protein intake without relying too much on cheese or meats, don't hesitate to explore the rich universe of legumes and other plant sources. Varying is the magical strategy for long-term healthcare. Now, how about opening your fridge and discovering what your next choice will be? After all, making smart choices is like assembling a championship team to ensure a healthy and balanced life. Imagine you're in a delightful tavern, surrounded by friends, and the waiter brings a cheese platter. The aroma is irresistible, and you feel your stomach rumbling. But before you give in to temptation, it's time to think wisely. After all, while cheese can be a great companion at meals, moderation should be your guide. Now, let's take a moment to reflect on what happens when we overindulge in this tasty food. Saturated fat, present in large quantities in certain cheeses, can be a real trap. Imagine a party in your body where the bad cholesterol, LDL, is the unwelcome guest arriving unannounced. When you consume cheese excessively, this guest starts to spread, and as a result, your heart health may suffer. Therefore, it's essential to pay attention not only to the type of cheese you choose but also to the quantity you put on your plate. Now, let's focus on the cheeses known as the heavyweights. You know, the ones that melt in your mouth and bring an explosion of flavor? I'm talking about brie, camembert, gorgonzola, roquefort, and of course, the beloved cream cheese. Each one is a flavor party, but don't forget, this party also comes with a good dose of fat. And the more aged the cheese, the more fat it tends to have. Even cream cheese, which seems innocent, is loaded with fat and low in protein. Imagine spreading a generous layer on bread. You might be indulging in a sea of fat without realizing it. Now, think with me. When you go to the market, it's easy to be charmed by that packaged cream cheese, waiting to be the star of your snack. But have you ever stopped to look at the label? Often, this processed cheese hides ingredients you wouldn't even imagine, like hidden sugars and preservatives. What seemed like an innocent snack may actually be a trap. On the other hand, if you're looking for a healthier option, how about exploring fresh cheeses? These little treasures, often found at local markets or homemade, are like loyal friends. Ricotta and fresh Minas cheese are perfect allies, especially if you have diabetes. They are low in fat, low in carbohydrates, and unlike some of their heavier friends, don't significantly affect your blood glucose levels. They are always by your side, bringing pleasure without causing problems. So the next time you come across a cheese platter, remember, true wisdom lies in savoring the flavors, but always with balance and attention. Cheese can be your friend, but it needs to be treated with respect. Once upon a time, in a vibrant supermarket, a cheese lover was wandering through aisles filled with irresistible products. With sparkling eyes, he spotted what seemed like paradise. Shelves full of processed cheeses, each promising incredible flavor and the convenience of a quick snack. But that day, he was about to embark on a journey of discovery. As he picked up a package of sliced cheese, an inner voice whispered, "Wait a moment, what's really in this cheese?" He paused, contemplating the label. And like a detective in search of the truth, he decided to investigate. What he found surprised him. A list of ingredients so long and full of strange terms that it could be a witch's spell. Preservatives, sugars, and additives danced before his eyes, revealing that those processed cheeses were more villains than heroes. Pulling from memory, he recalled the delights he used to make with cream cheese. The creamy texture and unmistakable flavor seduced him, but there was something more to consider. After all, is this cream cheese really cheese? He remembered that, despite the name, many products were mere imitations. How could this be possible? The surprising answer was that many contained more vegetable oils than milk. Upon reflection, the same applied to the nacho cheese he loved so much at the movies. That melted cheese, so tempting, could start with water and cornstarch. What seemed like an innocent indulgence hid ingredients that looked more like they belonged in a laboratory than in a kitchen. With this new and powerful knowledge, he realized that the choice of cheese could transform his meals. Determined to be a more conscious consumer, he decided that the next time he thought about adding cheese to his plate, he would choose wisely. After all, the true richness of cheeses comes from simple and pure ingredients. And so, on his journey through the supermarket, he not only bought cheeses but also wisdom to share with others. And you? Are you ready to confront the villain disguised as a hero in your own kitchen? Imagine yourself in the supermarket, where the shelves stretch like a rainbow of flavors. The aroma of fresh cheese hangs in the air, almost like an irresistible invitation to a little indulgence. You approach the dairy section, your eyes sparkling as you see the colorful packages promising delights. The word cheese shines in bold letters, evoking the image of something healthy and nutritious, perfect for your diet. But wait, before you put that piece of cheese in your cart, a crucial question arises. Is it as healthy as it seems? With the packaging in hand, a mix of curiosity and apprehension takes over you. As you take a closer look, you realize that what's hidden behind the label can be a true enigma. Ingredients you barely recognize begin to reveal themselves, and a subtle warning starts to echo in your mind. Watch out for sodium. Imagine sodium as a character in a story. It is essential for our body, but like many heroes, it can become a villain when not controlled. Processed and aged cheeses, like blue cheese, Parmesan, and cotija, are often loaded with sodium. Over time, this excess mineral can transform into a silent adversary, raising your blood pressure and putting your health at risk. So instead of simply succumbing to the tempting flavor, why not turn your shopping experience into an adventure? The next time you find yourself in the cheese section, make it a mission. Be a health detective. Look for options that honor the best of cheese tradition, those that are natural and less processed. And don't forget about the cheeses that melt in your mouth, like American and cheddar. They are undoubtedly stars in many snacks, but they can also contain a surprising amount of salt. Here, the nutrition label becomes your ally. Each brand is a universe in itself, and this simple practice of checking labels can be the key to transforming your diet. So, as you push your cart down the supermarket aisle, remember, your health is the priority. Make choices that not only satisfy your palate but also nourish your body. The next time you come across cheese, choose those that celebrate tradition and offer real benefits. Because every bite should be not only tasty but also a celebration of health. Imagine yourself in a small cheese shop, where the aroma of fresh cheese fills the air, promising delights that are not only flavorful but also nutritious. Cheese, this true treasure, is more than just a simple addition to your meals. It is low in calories, rich in protein, and contains good amounts of fat that, when consumed in moderation, can be very beneficial. Now, here's a little expert secret. If you really want to savor cheese in a healthy way, choose fresh cheeses. They are lighter, and unlike aged cheeses, which can be extremely salty, fresh ones preserve flavor and quality without burdening your health. And remember, steer clear of super-processed cheeses. These products come loaded with strange ingredients, often impossible to pronounce, that definitely don't belong in your diet. But wait, many people make mistakes when choosing their favorite cheeses, and it's time to debunk these myths. First, the belief that cheese is just a source of protein. While this is true, it's crucial to remember that it is also rich in fat. This awareness should be present when planning your meals. Another common mistake is thinking that all cheeses are the same. Don't be fooled. Natural cheeses are not only tastier but also made with fewer additives, while processed ones can hide unpleasant surprises. And last but not least, the salt content. This is a real villain, and excess sodium can be harmful to your health. Often, cheeses contain more salt than you think, and this can be the trap you didn't even notice. The quality of the cheese you choose can transform your meals. Remember that it's not just about the cheese itself but about how you combine it with other foods. Imagine adding chunks of cheese to a vibrant salad of fresh vegetables or to a dish of whole grains. This harmony not only creates a balanced and nutritious plate but also elevates the flavor of your meals to a new level. So, enjoy every little piece of cheese. It can be a delicious and healthy part of your diet, as long as you don't overdo it. And always read the labels. Pay attention to the amount of carbohydrates, fats, and of course, salt that you're consuming. Now that you have this knowledge in hand, how about making smarter choices the next time you go to the supermarket? Let the labels be your allies and discover new ways to enjoy cheese healthily and consciously. Your palate and your body will surely thank you. Subscribe to the channel.